like saved empty bottles, I can use them for meal prepping, loading up supplements, also supplements, and also for training. Så jag har en påse supplements today. -7 degrees. Wind speed 3 meters per second. Humidity 75%. Precipitation near the bird 5%. Some sun. Check local news. Police officers charged for sexual assault against minor. Villa in flames. This is why we disagree on climate politics. It's about justice. The global warming scare is a deep state Illuminati agenda that they use to advance their deep state new world order plans. I'm a gang stalker on video. I'm talking about a secret persecution program called Gang Stalker on videos. My name is Mike Sana. I live in Uppsala, Sweden. I've been taught with gang stalking for more than a decade. What is gang stalking? Gang stalking is a secret deep state government persecution program. And they recruit people to target you in real life and online. It's my cold steel. I opened up my feed and I saw cold steel had a short showed up in my feed. There is cold steel in the external and the internal. Well, thankfully I don't have a cold steel in my body. I have it on my body. So I had it, now I have it in my hand. Let's see. Oh yeah, I've seen this.
Some guys might even get their Valentine a gold necklace. Now, in my opinion, nothing says I never want to see you again like giving your Valentine a gold necklace and sending him off grocery shopping in the hood, but that's cheap. See, I don't think you should be getting them a gold necklace. I think you should be getting them a cold necklace. Cold steel, that is. Something like the counterattack 2.
So counterattack 2 is similar of a product to the cold steel mini leather neck. But look at this here. Oh. Put on some filters. Lenses. Retro. See how retro works. Lenses. Oh. Lenses. Believe retro. So here. Looks similar. It's a similar product. It seems to be a dagger. Yeah, it's a dagger. Similar dimension. Look at how he's holding it. Most likely it has around average size hands. So it's about the same dimensions. That's it. I've never owned a serrated cold steel knife. There are quite a few. A lot of the models, knife models, they have a serrated version of it. There's advantages and disadvantages to a serrated knife. It cuts some things better with serrations, and also for outdoors use. If you have a serrated knife, you can slash and cut with it like you could with a normal knife. You can slash and cut things with it. If you do this or this, you can slash and cut. And so with the serrations, you can also saw it better. So there's disadvantages to a serrated knife, which means if this had serrations, you could still slash with it, you could still thrust with it. But it would be better for sawing wood, for example, if I wanted to saw through wood. It would be so that would be an advantage of serrations. Now, to sharpen it, that's a little bit of a pain. It's harder to sharpen a serrated knife than a non-serrated knife. With serrations, just because of the geometrics, like the shape of it, even if it gets dull and less sharp, just because of the up and down, it can still cut, even though it's dull. Okay.
Outdoorsman, which comes in San Mai. They both have a really great fit and finish, as well as these high polished bolsters and an incredible grip that just sticks to your hand. Not only do they perform well,
I like Tanto knives.
Really nice. One of the things we
I like Tanto knives and daggers. I like knives in general. Now, personal favorites, I'd say daggers and then Tanto blades. I have a cold steel Recon Tanto, and I have this cold steel Medium Leatherneck. It's a cold steel dagger and a cold steel Tanto.
This and think to yourself, well, it's a higher end knife. It comes with a higher end price tag. This is the Tanto Light. It comes in 4116 stainless steel, and it's basically the same exact thing, except for it's just not using the more high end steels.
So what I like about cold steel knives is they're rugged, reliable, and they have the reputation. I also like the sheets, cold steel sheets. I like the cold steel sheets and the steels. Stainless. They are stainless steels. They're cold steel. So I like the sheets and I like the steels, the cold steel users. And I like cold steel as a company.
You essentially get the same type of knife. The same thing goes for the Outdoorsman. We have an Outdoorsman light as well. 4116 stainless.
It's my cold steel Medium Leatherneck. And with this, you can do one-handed deployment just by doing this. But this is small enough to carry it even in my sweatpants pockets, which I have the wrong side. You know, when I put on the sweatpants, I put them the wrong side, so the pockets are the opposite of normal hour. So it is small enough to fit in a sweatpants pocket without poking out, without the handle being outside. Then it's easy to carry. You carry it many ways. Here's another way to deploy it one-handed. Just see here. Once I have, if I would have it in my sweatpants pocket here, and I'm leaving myself to using only one hand to deploy it and unsheath it. If it goes here, see, I just have to push with my thumb and this finger. See, and it's out. Don't try this immediately. That should be home. So they feel like call my bicep there. I'll show you how you can improvise. Well, I show you how I improvise. Remember this thing, we don't train things in home. But I use this as a training knife. So for a training knife, if you have a knife, EDC knife, okay, and in my case it'd be at home EDC, okay. So you want something as close to the real thing. You want to train with something as close to the real thing as possible. Which means if you have this knife and I'm going to train knife fighter martial arts for this knife, I want something as close to the real knife as possible for my training. And I don't want something that's this long for training to fight with this knife. See, because it's going to be a different range, different everything. So I figured out a way to use this for safer training. And all I need is a rubber band here. And I can actually use the knife. There you go. 1, 2, 3. And then I want a Q-tip. A Q-tip. There you go. The lot of time now is a type of note for it's a knot that I can undo easily. You can also tie it so that you pretty much have to cut off the string. There you go. So you choose one rubber hairband for this. Go through here once, and then both holes here. And this makes it usable as a training knife, safe for training. The secure sheet is now more securely attached to the handle. And I like to do this. I hit it with a slash. You slash for that stab. Here. 1, 2, 1, slide to the side, stab to the eye socket. In this case, 1 drill. 1, 2. Two, three. I'm to deliver one stab to the neck on the left side. That's a combo that I'm doing now. Knife cutting combo. Left, left, left. 3 in rapid succession. That deliver 1, 2, 3, third stab. Same grip goes to the neck with this grip. So bang, bang, bang. 1, 2, 3. That's combo. One of many combination attacks that you can do. What's my glass in here? Here. If you from here, 1, 2, 3. Look at this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 to the bottom of the neck. And I'm aiming for the neck. Now if it hits, wherever it's hit, it's not a good place to be stabbed. There's another way to attack with a knife with the reverse grip. See here. If the guard is like this, it's open in the middle. So I can attack at this angle. See? At this angle. See? Which is kind of unconventional way to attack with a knife. But it's the reverse grip that I'm using. And there's many ways I can attack the reverse grip. I can punch cap a collar, which means throwing the blade like I'm throwing a punch. And the only thing that is different, it's 95% the same body mechanics as boxing. So instead of a 1, 2, where I'm punching my knuckles into the jaw, I'm throwing a punch to the side and impacting with the blade. So it's the same body mechanics as boxing punches to 95%. It's like 90-95% the same body mechanics. So normal punch, hitting the knuckles into the jaw. Now with this, I'm punching to the side, missing on purpose, if you call it. See, and hitting with the blade, punching the blade. And then it's hook punches, like I'm throwing a hook here. Holding a knife, same thing there, only the distance changes pretty much. See, and I just punch that hook. Punch the blade. See? And instead of throwing like this, hitting with the knuckles, the distance changes. So here's a normal hook here. With the blade, the range is the main difference. Where I'm once again, don't play anything you see me doing this slash at home. But Bible or self-defense, use your weapons at all times. Here's another thing. I like to drill. If I'm practicing this reverse grip, stab from this guard to the neck here, it can happen in real fighter training that you overshoot, and I end up impacting my forearm or my wrist here. So you can drill that after, instead of hitting here. So it's like I'm failing to hit here. See, I'm going for a stab to the neck from here to here. See. Now what can happen is I impact here and hit my forearm, and then drilling after. And the same muscle memory you can drill for that works even if you hit it. So it's good to drill that for here. See, I overshoot, I'm going for this, but I hit here. The same muscle, stab, pull, see, Because if it goes into the neck, into the body, and it's in there, and I pull, I'm still cutting it all the way out. Here, pull, okay. Pull, pull. Back this, stab to the liver, stab to the neck. Hostage hold, which is the technique, what I call this technique. And here's how we end up. A way to do it. So if I get this here, and I have my left arm here, I'm not going for a rear naked choke, but here, I can push forward while pulling back to cut the neck. So if I get this, which I call hostage hold, and there's different variations where I can contact with my hand, at my wrist to the neck, and the blade is right there. So if you pull, you're cutting the neck. Or I can have the forearm here, or have my armpit against his throat. And obviously I can squeeze here, I can lock it, and things like this. But just simply getting my arm here, armpit or wrist to the front of his throat here, or the thumb like here. And if I have this, I can quickly push with the left arm and pull with the right. See? So I don't have to touch the blade and put it lightly against the neck. It's just getting this here, see? And obviously, a way to get out of this is he pushes this way, but that's very dangerous to do. So even though it's like right now it's open on the left side, here, see, even though it's open on the left side, if the head moves to the left, it's very dangerous, and I can quickly lock it, or cut into it, or do something like this, or even this. But it's here, here, and I can put this part here, here, or the wrist, or even the forearm, and quickly it can pull cut. So I call it hostage hold. See here, with the blade on the left side, and obviously quickly I can pull to the left, I can push to a stretch like this. I can push and pull at the same time, which creates a lot of power. So I don't like the fact that this diamond has been damaged. It's the same that happened with the previous one, where it's like for 6 months after getting it, it was fine. And then like once I started using it for knife fighting training and stuff and weapons, it ended up getting damaged. This actually, with the sheet on, created a puncture wound, like the first damage. The cold steel knife and impact training with, I made a joke video after that happened, like a knife so dangerous that it can cut with the sheet on, see? So I was hitting to the neck, practicing neck stabs with the sheet on, used as a training knife. And it created a puncture wound. It slid through and created an opening here. So I've glued it and taped it over, and then it lasts for a while. And then I gotta put more tape on it and stuff. So possibly I can tear off everything and get a better glue, like liquid nails or something. This is something. There might be a better glue for it. light now. Pressure from this distance. Now, anyway, I'm attacking like this while having the neck here. If you're attacking towards your own limbs, you're increasing the risk of you accidentally hitting yourself with your knees. I mean, if I have the neck like this, and I'm attaching to the neck, I'm getting close to my own hand and arm. So from this grip, you see this grip now. What can I do from here? Just maintain this same distance, make it simple. Show you different ways to attack with this grip from this distance. One. See here. Higher, belly button torso. Here. Hook to the neck. Attack like this or like this. Switch the grip. And that's a eyebrow slash, like a tortoise on for elbow strike. Followed by a stab. Now how I'm training now is to connect with the eye socket to do a live eye poke on his right eye, okay? So the left slash comes here, punch cut here, slide, and then the next step is towards the eye. Now, just because I'm drilling and aiming for a certain point, doesn't mean that I'm counting it like it's very likely to be able to hit the eye every time you do this, but it's like you're drilling accuracy. And stabbing anywhere to the face is obviously, there's no good place to get stabbed basically, or slashed. So, even though I'm training hitting the eye socket on my stabs here, it's not that if I don't hit the eye socket, it wouldn't do anything. See here, punch cut. See, punching the blade. And this is how I end up being at the moment of impact. See, punch cut here. And then the next one is a stab. So, bang. Stab. Here, look at this. See, boom, boom, and it comes here. See, and there's so many different ways I can punch the blade into the person, but into the dummy, but here we go. See here, boom. Now, there's so many things you can do in training. Train this guard, and there's different variations of that. Where it's like you can have so many guards, you don't want to get too rigid, but it's like here's the one, the right way, or something like this. It's like a lot of times you work from the general thing. It's like, let's train from a high guard with 2 knives. And then you can go, it's like you can drill a little bit just from here. Then you can go, now let's alternate the guard a little bit. And be like, tuck the elbows in against my chest and then contact with my temples and then work from here and things like this. Another time you can have like even high, you can work as a general, like from a high guard with the blade in front of yourself And there's so many different variations of that, where you can go from here, 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 all kinds of stuff. Knife fighting martial arts is I like to train knife fighting martial arts. And I'm using a heavy fist on the left side. I'm not holding a knife there. Here. Which is still the same general thing of touching, connecting with the left. It could be a mark type, lining type thing, it could be a palm strike, it could be a punch, just anything. I'm doing this right now, so I just connect and practicing connecting and quickly hitting with the right after. That's what I'm training. And if I'll be holding a knife left hand, that likely will tap. I'm not trying to like knock him out with a standing hand fist to the front of the face. But with a knife, it's still damaging. So, and even without a knife, it's like connected with something, which is also putting up a block as I'm connected with this, see? So it's and blinding, like something coming here from the left side and then to set up the right. So here, 1, 2, 3. And I can make the left like this, or more straight. So it could be a punch, step in, and then a powerful stab here. See, so a lot of times how I train is I use the fundamentals from Muay Thai and boxing applied to knife fighting. And the same base, like don't reinvent the wheel, it's like this all like boxing, how to generate power from here to a head in front of you. Okay, so if you want to deliver a powerful punch cut, it's like I know how to throw a punch impact with my knuckles, so the only difference from throwing a punch impact with my knuckles and punching the blade into the throat would be punching to the side, throw the punch to the side a little bit lower for the next hit. So here's a boxing 1, 2. Normally, it's a boxing punches. Left, right. Now for knife fighting, see, notice how I punch the blade into the throat. So it's 99.5% the same body mechanics as throwing a punch, only applied to knife fighting. Now, things that are important is strength of blade, strength of grip. So I've talked about this before, how if you want to be able to pull things off, like punch through the cranium and get the blade into the brain, it's not going to be like a zombie movie, you just have something like a sponge, like sticking to sponge like this. To like be realistic, to be able to possibly pull off, crashing through the cranium and going to the blade, into the brain, you have to generate force. You have to have a strong knife and a strong grip. Because if the knife is weak, you hit bone, the tip will snap off, or it will bend. If your grip is weak, as you impact, even if everything is powerful, like how you're generating force, if your grip is weak, you're losing all that potential penetration ability at the moment of impact. So here, for example, see, that's enough power generated by my body where I could have a chance to crack through the cranium if my grip is strong enough. See, there. And that's a way where it's like, it's potential that executed, you pull that off, it could break the cranium and get into the brain, if the grip is strong enough. And what makes a good grip, part of what makes a good grip is what you're gripping. The knife, the material for the handle, finger guard, everything. Like the part of the grip, what makes a good grip is what you're gripping, and part of it is your gripping technique and your hand strength, as I said. On purpose now, and then recover. This is something I like to drill, and that's what we can drill to build muscle memory for missing with the blade and quickly capitalizing on the failure and turning it into a successful attack. So this is like knife fighting reality, where it's like if you're fighting, it makes sense to drill in a way that translates to real world fighting, build a muscle memory that actually can help to improve your chances of fighting a human. Meaning knife fighting martial arts, okay? So something that can happen, even if I'm drilling accuracy. Now, you can improve your chances of landing where you're trying to land, but you also have, you're gonna have a chance, a risk of hitting, see, where I'm going for the stab to deliver from here, and it can be close to the distance to deliver that, okay? Now, it can happen in a real fight, this chaotic, he's moving around, where the person's moving towards you. And you see this in pool fights too, people like positive kicking. It's like the guy is backing away from them, they throw a kick, and they miss like this, see? They're like standing punching in martial arts. And then the guy starts moving back, and they try to catch the kick as he's moving back, but they miss, because he was moving back so fast before, do you understand? So, building muscle memory for knife fighting, if I'm drilling hitting to the liver or to the neck from here, I can drill and build muscle memory for overshooting, which could be as, when could that happen in a fight? I'm standing in a guard, the guy is charging me, and I'm trying to connect it with the next stab as he's coming in, see? Now, if that happens, yeah, I could end up hitting him in the neck, but I could also end up overshooting, see? And hitting with the forearm or the wrist, like this, see? I'm trying to catch it like this, but this can happen, see? And notice how, if that ends up, and it's like building speed muscle memory for that, because if I end up here, I want to turn it to pull pretty much immediately, because if I'm here, it's not going to stay there forever. So it's like the same moment I impact my wrist forearm, I pull back, see? And the same muscle memory, see, miss, see, I'm trying to hit here. Now I'm missing on purpose and hit it with my wrist and then pull it. See, and I pull it right away. See, 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 and the same muscle memory works if I hit with my attack, see. That's beautiful. So if I hit in the neck, and it's in his neck now, and right after sliding into his neck, I pull, I'm in the neck pulling out, see, which exacerbates the injury. See, now from here, what I like about a dagger, it's more like skill. Daggers, it takes more training to be able to use them. It's like a double-edged sword. You're more like to cut yourself with a dagger. If you attack with it and yeah, it's like there's more ways that you could get hurt in training or in a fight. But as far as I'm concerned, one of the best type of knife for knife fighting is a dagger. Why? A regular knife, it's like most knives are dull at the back and sharp in the front. Talked about this before. So with a normal knife, so-called, it's only sharp in the front, which means if I'm from here, so I can cut here, I can cut here, stab here, cut here, see. Now, with a dagger, there's more ways I can cut. It's like it unlocks attack methods and techniques that there's more ways it can be dangerous. See. So for example, I've used this before. Show a little bit about dagger fighting. So, if this was a normal knife, it would only be sharp. And most knives on the market, in people's kitchens, whatever, is going to be sharp in the front only and dull at the back. So it's not cutting at the back. See? So if I cut here, across the face, slide off and up over here. Or I miss and end up over here, see? With this knife, the sharp in the front of my thumb, I have to rotate, turn to cut it, see? And now again, look, think it's a normal knife. It's not sharp this way, see? So I can't just, if it's close to the distance on me, pull this way and cut it. I have to rotate the blade, now I'm cutting. I have to rotate the cut back. I can stab from this position when I rotate my grip. But if I want to cut, I have to rotate it and cut, rotate and cut, rotate and cut like this. Whereas with a dagger, if I have this grip, cut this way, and it's moving in, with the same grip, I could just retract my arm and cut on the way back, see? So I cut on the way forward, I cut on the way back, because it's a dagger. See? So if I go here, to the neck and up here, and he's doing a takedown on me now, and I can pull back at the same time, see? So I don't have to change my grip, I've rolled the knife in my hand to be able to cut back, see? So whatever way, I'm cutting forward, I'm cutting back. So if I go stab, I can pull and I'm cutting back as a dagger. And from here I can cut forward with the same grip, see? If I go stab here, pull back, I'm cutting. If it's come towards my hand, it's going for the knife, I can cut just quickly forward. I can cut here, I can cut here. You see, I can cut any which way. Here, 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 and then back again. So if the knife, he comes to grab it, I have this grip. I can cut. And if he comes here, I can cut this forward here. I can cut here. I can cut forward and back. So there's more ways to be dangerous with a knife if it's a dagger. Here's another thing, applying like elbow strike. You know how to hit with the elbow strike for. I can turn that into hitting with the knife for. See? So here, see, I'm hitting with the elbow. Now for knife fighting, I know how to generate force, adapt that, apply that to knife fighting. And it's pretty much the same thing. Only instead of hitting here, I'm hitting here. See? Same thing with elbow strikes. I know how to hit here, see, and I'm hitting with my elbow. Mainly the distance is changing. See, or see, here, I close right. Yeah, as I said before, so say now again. Don't try and see me doing this like home. So gotta finish this up in 5 minutes. Now, the blade. Sharpness test. Be careful with the knives, okay? It's best to avoid training with an actual knife, especially starting out when you get a training knife. An advantage of cold steel knives. The good thing about that is knife companies, they make knives that are designed to be rugged and reliable, and they like heavy on fighting knives, okay? Making knives for fighting, okay? And which means they make knives for knife fighters, you could say. It's like they're a company that is like big on making weapon knives, that they work as a weapon, understand? And they also have a training version of a lot of their knives. It's like cold steel recon Tanto. If I would buy a cold steel recon Tanto on Amazon, I could get a cold steel recon Tanto rubber training knife on Amazon too. Use the actual knife for shadowboxing training, which is more risky. I can use the rubber knife for training to fight with my cold steel recon Tanto. I can have a cold steel recon Tanto rubber knife with the same reach, and I can use that for shadowboxing and move around my body, and see, it's not that dangerous. It's like, if this starting out to train knife fighting martial arts, it's more risky you drop it on your foot, or like as you're moving around, especially starting out, that you cut yourself. And this I can't do sparring with it, okay? See, so with the cold steel recon Tanto, for example, I have both the cold steel recon Tanto knife and a rubber training knife. So if I want to practice cold steel fighting with the cold steel recon Tanto in knife fighting martial arts, I have a rubber knife. So in case I have a guest, a visitor, come over, I could be like, hey, can you like come at me so I can just practice hitting you with my cold steel recon Tanto as you're moving in, see? It's like just throw like a kick, touch your kick with the knife. Then it's like it's the same length, same handle, same reach, and I can use it for sparring because it's a soft rubber knife. So I don't have to be concerned about hurting my sparring partner. And it's safer to use it for shadow boxing too. Do you understand? If I have a rubber training knife and I'm practicing like this type of stuff, see? Okay. Now, if you would start out doing that and you have the real knife in your hand and you go like, ooh, I just cut my, do you understand? That could have been an injury. Somebody starting out, say, I'm going to start, I bought a knife, I'm going to start practicing with it. And you do it, it's like you can get hurt, see? It's like you're practicing this attack, for example. It's like, you just cut yourself in the leg, see? Or you're practicing like punch, stab, okay? Punch, stab. And then you go punch, oh, I just stabbed myself in the wrist, see? Do you understand? And you don't want that to happen. So especially if you're starting out, like you got a knife and you're gonna start practicing fighting with it. You want a training knife and not use an actual knife because it's dangerous, okay? And with a rubber training knife you can do, hello. With a rubber training knife you can do sparring too. So, I like Cold Steel as a company, like their knives, okay? Now I'm not like biased towards them, it's like that only they have knives that work for fighting, okay? But I do personally like Cold Steel knives. So here's the point. Yeah, that's a minor point, and I got a major point coming up later. Okay, so something I like, what I like about Cold Steel, I like the sheets. Okay, they have good sheets. I prefer a Kydex, what's it called? Kydex, these hard plastic sheets that they got. Over leather, over felt, what is it called? Like the fabric. A lot of sheets on the market have like either leather or faux leather or some kind of fabric sheet. I like the cold steel sheets that are plastic, hard plastic, and I like that. Okay, and they're cold steel as a company. They make knives that are designed from the ground up. A lot of the knife models for knife fighting. See, so I bought another knife company I like is Fiskars. Okay, now not for fighting knives. So I bought maybe 4 of these Fiskars knives for knife fighting training. See, now Fiskars knife, this knife, a utility knife, is not made to be a fighting knife, which is why it's looking like this after I force it into use of fighting. See, training, meaning doing impact training, like stabbing wood boards and slashing wood boards and practicing having like wood in front of me, wood boards, like bang, bang, see, type of stuff, like bang, bang, and things like this. Practicing actually impact my techniques in wood, which can be an analog for bone, like dense, hard material where I'm impacting, which is similar to impacting bone, see. So it's like pressure testing everything. If I can hit wood, a bookshelf made out of wood, like this, and not lose the do you understand? It's like, yeah, okay, that means if I would go for the liver stab and hit the hip bone or a rib bone, it's like if I can survive impact with wood with that technique, it's like what I'm doing is, do you understand? It's like close to reality. Because you're not going to be stabbing into a wet sponge. Okay, if you attack it to your body, there's a bone all over. So you might be going for the throat but end up hitting the jawbone or the shoulder bone. So if I'm going for a stab to your neck, you might end up hitting the bone here or the bone here, see? So you have to kind of have everything where the knife and your fighting, it can be applied to hitting a human body with the techniques. So anyway, I like Fiskars too. I like this, I think it's called the Fiskars K40. And I bought maybe 3 or 4 of these and used them, and it worked fine for knife fighting, shadow boxing and stuff. But after starting to practice stabbing things and slashing things with them, either I've had at least one of them where the problem is it bends and becomes like a hook after stabbing something that's similar to bone, like dense wood in training. Bang, and it bends, and it's like now you have like a hook, like a bent tip. And then with this one, it snapped off. So this is not made to be a fighting knife. It's stuff with and cut strings, and do you understand? But if pushed into using as a weapon, since it's not designed for that, it's like it's more like a break. Whereas cold steel knives are made from the ground up. A lot of them, depending on the design, like they have outdoorsman stuff since it is. They're made from the ground up to be durable and usable as a fighting knife, like a weapon. Okay. So I own 2 cold steel knives. Shorter. Studio World, he's a Japanese person. Commentary, wallpaper, it works. I'm going to eat. Okay. Enjoy your meal. Itatakumas, I think you say. Isn't that a food word? I think it might be. Itatakumas. Isn't that like enjoy your meal or something? So let's eat kind of food word, I'm guessing. And I see it's kind of laggy. It's like, yeah. I had the phone on like high screen back so I can see as I'm recording sport stuff, sport type of content. And that rapidly depletes the battery, and once it gets around 15% battery, it can get a little bit laggy. Yeah, daka 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 da daka 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 da da da. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I like when Japanese people come into the chat. Some of my favorite viewers. I enjoy getting. Sometimes I enjoy Japanese viewers in the chat. A lot of times they're less provocative and annoying, and they're less likely statistically that a Japanese person, somebody in my chat, they're less likely statistically to end up trolling me or attacking me or being rude or insulting or something like this. So it's basically it's easier to get along with Japanese YouTubers than American YouTubers, I'd say. Anyway, good to see you in the chat today, studio, and you're welcome back. Studio is a Japanese YouTuber, Studio-san. Sweden Jin Weather. Sweden Jin Poster. That's a post, that's a mail vehicle. This is what a Swedish mail post office car looks like, delivery mail. Now they also have other companies delivery mail, but PostNord. The guy who's delivering the mail. Where the mail, man? I know that they're gonna hate, but I can't be awake and square in the face to stand up. Mount Fuji. Okay. It's like a pulses ended up looking like a unscaled mountain a lot of times. If you have like a heap of snow like this, it looks like a mountain. It's like a downscaled mountain. Once again, don't try anything you see. And abide by local laws regarding self-defense use of weapons at all times. And if you're gonna train knife fighting martial arts, do it safely, I recommend. As safe as possible, pretty much. So get a training knife, like a rubber knife or plastic knife or a knife that's designed as a training knife. So you can train more safely. Coming up on the street. Jesus. I said 5 minutes to see if that will work. And I'm back. Yeah, so we had a studio in here, a Japanese viewer. He's a content producer himself, a streamer and video uploader. And his last comment, I'm going to eat. So in Sweden it's 14:11 is the current time in Sweden. And in Japan, I think it's plus 7 hours, so it would be 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20 or 21 something. Yeah, I'm gonna finish up. It's gonna end the video. I'll wait until it's 2 hours and 3 minutes to end it. It's gonna end the video. Bye.